Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got Did the Lions finally end the NFL's most toxic curse? Let's check this out. The Lions went from one of the worst teams in the NFL to possibly one of the best teams in the NFC.
1934, the team found a new home
in the city of Detroit.
They were in the NFC Championship game last year against the Niners. I feel like they definitely got a shot this year to make the Super Bowl.
Winning 4 world championships in the pre-Super Bowl era.
Check this out, though.
The last of which coming in 1957. They were stalwarts in the infancy of the NFL, a dynasty of the old guard. But shortly after their last title, everything would change.
Damn.
Uh-oh. That's unbelievable, and you know it.
Look at Matthew Stafford, Golden Tate. Bro, yeah, I remember this, the Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary.
From 1950 to 1958, Hall of Famer Bobby Lane quarterbacked the dominant Detroit Lions, bringing home 3 of the franchise's 4 world championship titles. Bobby was known for his leadership and tenacity.
Damn, a
but most
QB wearing
importantly,
22
embodied
is
Detroit's
bizarre,
toughness,
bro.
making him the perfect fit for a
Holy
blue-collar
shit.
city built by hard-working auto factory linesmen. If there was ever a quarterback made to lead the Lions, it was Bobby Lane. However, in 1957, after the Lions took home their 3rd championship in 6 seasons with Lane on the sidelines due to injury,
Damn.
the franchise took a turn.
Uh-oh.
The Lions,
What happened?
too smart for their own good, and feeling justified by their success,
Clothesline his ass.
believed they could win without Bobby, and traded him at the beginning of the 1958 season.
Oh, wow.
Lane was insulted by the Lions' decision, and as he was cleaning
I
out
feel
his
like,
locker
how can you
before
trade
heading to
somebody
Pittsburgh,
that
was famously
helps you
quoted
win,
saying
bro?
that the Lions wouldn't win a championship for another 50 years.
Like, bro, this nigga brought you 3
Knowing your
championships.
father as you did, isn't he capable of something like that?
Oh, sure. He might have, and might have had a few sweet words in between.
In that moment, the curse of Bobby Lane took its first breath, and the Lions' infamous decades of futility began.
Bro, how the hell do you botch that?
In the 1960s,
Falling right through
the
his
Lions
hands.
failed to make the playoffs, including 7 losing seasons for a cumulative record of 73, 76, and 13.
Damn.
In 1970, after 12 seasons without a division championship or playoff berth, the playoff drought
Wait.
ended. After 12
Well, they didn't make the playoffs at
6 and
9,
13.
4, and 1? Who the hell were the teams back then?
In
That you can't make the
1970,
playoffs at 9,
after
4,
12
and
seasons
4
without
and
a
1.
division championship or playoff berth, the playoff drought ended. But
Okay.
Detroit failed to cure their playoff woes, losing to the Cowboys in the divisional round 5-0.
5-0, bro. That's a weird ass score. A field goal and a safety wins you the game. Bro, the
That would prove to be
offenses
their
were
only
doing
shot to end the
nothing.
streak, as the Lions stumbled through the 70s, failing to make the playoffs again,
Damn.
and closing out the decade with another below 500 record.
I'm guessing the playoffs
Things began
was
looking up to
different
start
back
the
then,
80s,
like trying to make
when the
it and
Lions
shit.
drafted
Because
All-American
a lot of
Heisman
those
Trophy-winning
records
running
that I
back
saw
Billy
right there, you
Sims
can
with
make
the number 1 overall
playoffs
pick.
nowadays.
Sims was electric in his first season with Detroit, winning Offensive Rookie of
Damn.
the Year. And as a
Bro,
result,
how
Sims was
this nigga
electric
pulled
in
an
his first
AB?
season with Detroit.
Nigga drop
Offensive
kicking
Rookie of
off.
the Year.
He really
And as a
bro. He
result,
stepped right off the
the Lions'
back of
record improved,
one of the
winning 9
defenders,
games
bro.
in 1980
What
and 8
the
games
hell?
in 1981.
Bro, that's a fine nowadays.
In 1982,
nigga probably get fined
the Lions ended
$100,000
another decade-long playoff drought when
and
they
get, like,
faced off
suspended,
against the
like,
NFC best
5
Washington
games.
Redskins. There was a lot of hype surrounding the game for Lions fans, but once again, their efforts were fruitless as they got trounced by top-seeded Washington 31-6.
Damn.
1984, Bobby came knocking once again, and tragedy struck the Lions franchise.
Uh-oh.
In an October game at the Metrodome, a stadium known for its horrific turf, the Lions faced off
Oh
against
shit,
division
it's gonna be a
rival
torn
Minnesota.
ACL.
With the Lions trailing 14-7 in the 3rd quarter, Sims took a toss sweep right, but as he tried to cut,
Ooh.
his right foot caught on the turf, and he went down.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Bro, the nigga told him, uh-oh.
His right knee.
The injury,
Damn.
originally believed to be a knee sprain, caused nerve damage in Billy's right knee.
Oh,
Despite his
shit.
efforts, Billy failed to regain full feeling in the joint, and as a result, never played again.
Damn, bro.
For the remainder of the 1980s,
that's gotta suck.
the same old Lions.
That's
were
what, bro.
back.
That's exactly why they need to fix the fields, bro. Especially turf fields with the Jets and the Giants. Most likely those two, bro, because they have the worst fields ever. Like, come on,
Detroit
NFL. Y'all make
playoffs
all
after
this money and
83,
can't even
and
get
recorded 6
great
straight losing
fields.
seasons to close out the
Shit
decade.
is crazy.
It was more of the same. However, in 1989, with so much heartache throughout the 80s, there was one bright spot. The Lions drafted another Heisman Trophy winning running
Barry
back,
Sanders.
this time out of Oklahoma State, named Barry.
Sanders.
Barry Sanders, the electrifying, record-breaking running back from Wichita, Kansas,
Damn,
was selected
nigga
number 3
damn near
overall by the
landed on his
Lions
neck.
and crowned the new savior in Detroit.
Okay.
Detroit Lions select Barry Sanders.
One of the greatest running backs of all time. I still
Although
think
Barry's
LT
first 2
is better.
seasons in Detroit were losing ones, he was remarkable, often leaving fans' jaws
Because LT
and
won
opposing
MVP,
players
so
on the ground as he juked and
You know?
cut his way to the end zone. The Lions finally felt they had someone to build around, and built around them they did.
damn.
With Wayne Fonts on the sidelines and Barry
Or
Sanders in the
imagine
backfield,
Barry Sanders, prime Barry
the
Sanders
Lions
playing
ran all
in
the
this
way to their first
version
Central
of the
Division crown
NFL.
in nearly a decade, winning 12
Knew
games for
we'd
the
be
first
putting
time
everybody
in
on
franchise
skates.
history. In their first playoff game since 1983, the Pontiac Silverdome was packed with starved fans dying to see a 3-decade-long
versus the
playoff
Cowboys.
winless streak finally come to an end. And end it did. The Lions dominated the Cowboys in the divisional round 38-6,
Damn.
thanks to 3 touchdown passes
That's their
from
get
Eric
back.
Kramer and a patented 47-yard touchdown run from Barry.
Oh, I remember this. I remember this play. Sheesh. Damn, left a pile of niggas. Oh my gosh. Bro, Barry was
With a decisive win
different.
over Dallas, the Lions advanced to their first NFC Championship game in the Super Bowl era. On that day in 1991, Lions prideful were overcome with happiness, having finally cured their playoff woes. But little did they know that shortly after the streak came to an end, another one would begin.
Uh-oh.
The following week, the Lions were blown out by the far superior Washington Redskins,
Holy
41-10.
Oh my
The
gosh.
Redskins went on to win the
41-10 is
Super Bowl,
crazy.
and the Lions went home. Sad to have fallen short, but filled with a blissful ignorance that they were finally close to winning a championship. Close, they were not, as once again, good old Bobby came calling.
Uh-oh.
The next offseason, after losing one promising young guard, Mike Utley, to a career-ending injury that left him paralyzed,
Oh my
the Lions lost their
gosh,
other
bro.
guard when Eric Andelsek was tragically struck and killed by a semi-truck in his front yard.
Oh my, bro, what the hell?
When Eric Andelsek was tragically
Yo, what
struck
type
and
of
killed
curse
by a
is
semi-truck in
this?
his front yard. Earlier that summer, the Lions also lost their defensive back coach Len Fonts, brother of head
R.I.P.,
coach
bro.
Wayne Fonts, when he passed away suddenly from a heart attack.
Yo.
Distracted and filled with sadness, the Lions regressed tremendously, finishing the 92
Bro,
season
all this
5-11
because they
and
traded
missing
their
the playoffs.
quarterback?
After a disappointing season, Detroit
This
was
is
back
crazy.
in 93. They won the NFC Central for the second time in 3 years and were matched up with division rival Green Bay in the wildcard round. The game was close, and with the Lions clinging to a late lead in the fourth quarter, all they needed was a stop. The Packers, led by a young gunslinger, Brett Favre,
Brett
were
Favre.
driving, trailing by 3, needing a touchdown to win it, and with only a little time left on the clock, Favre found Sterling Sharp for an improbable 40-yard touchdown.
Damn, uncork that shit.
Touchdown! Sterling Sharp! He got away and scored the touchdown with 50.
This nigga just standing right there. Who the hell? They throwing
closed out the Lions on
pom-poms at him?
defense, and Detroit fans were reminded, once again, that the curse of Bobby Lane was far from finished.
They're gonna win it! The Packers are gonna win it!
Over the next
Damn,
4 seasons, the Lions would make the playoffs 3 more times, losing all 3 times in the first round. After another losing season in 98, the Lions received a strange fax from Wichita, Kansas right before training camp. All-Pro and future Hall of Famer Barry Sanders decided to hang up the cleats.
First Jordan, then Gretzky, then Elway, now this, which unlike the others was completely unexpected.
The Lions and Detroiters were devastated, and even though the Lions
Damn,
made the
bro.
playoffs without
Barry Sanders
Sanders
got
in
tired of their
99,
bullshit,
they lost
bro.
once again in the wild card round.
Damn.
All told, the Lions compiled a staggering 1-6 playoff record in the 90s.
1-6.
And failed to make it back to the NFC Championship game with Sanders and Fonts after the inspiring 1991 season. The new millennium brought the ugliest and unluckiest era in Detroit Lions franchise history, revealing that Bobby's curse was still in full effect.
The hell?
Poor coaching hires were a main factor to the downfall of the team during this period, including hires like Steve Mariucci, Rod Marinelli, and Marty Morningwig, who famously elected to take the wind against division rival Chicago. On a gusty day in the Windy City, Morningwig elected to defend after winning the coin toss in overtime, stating that the tumultuous conditions were the deciding factor in his choice. The Bears would go on to win the game with a field goal on their first drive.
That was back when they before they changed it.
Oh boy.
The
Can't
man
just
who
win with a
oversaw the
field goal on your
operation
first
during
drive
this time
anymore.
period was Matt Millen, arguably the worst GM in the history of professional sports. During his tenure, he blew multiple high first-round draft picks on busts like Charles Rogers, Joey Harrington, and Mike Williams.
Ooh.
Things got so bad under Millen that Lions fans attended games with bags over their heads and chants of
So
fire Millen
this
echoed
is
through the
where this
rafters.
came from. Okay.
Prior to the start of the 2008
They would
season,
chant that
owner
shit
William
too?
Clay Ford decided he had finally seen enough.
Damn.
Heeding the advice of fans, Ford fired Millen. October 12th, 2008. The curse was supposed to end this day. 50 years to the day Bobby Lane placed his curse, the Lions squared off against division rivals, Minnesota. The Lions and their fans felt the curse was indeed over, as the Lions led the Minnesota Vikings late in the fourth quarter,
Megatron.
despite quarterback Dan Orlovsky running out of the back of his own end zone
Yeah,
for a
this
safety
shit is still
in the first
crazy.
quarter.
Poor guy, I don't even know if he realized.
How the hell do you even do that?
And that's a safety.
Well, so much for me calling him savvy because he had no idea where he's on the field.
Down by 1 with 2 minutes left in the game, with Minnesota at their own 30-yard line, Vikings quarterback Gus Frerotte threw a bomb down the field.
Ooh.
The pass was incomplete, but the Lions were flagged for a questionable pass interference penalty.
Show the replay.
Drives me nuts now. It can be 50 yards long for a penalty. It looks like very incidental contact. I don't think they need to call that.
Yeah.
The Vikings would go on to kick a game-winning
I don't
field
see
goal
the
with 12
pass
seconds left,
interference.
winning by 2, and it appeared the curse of Bobby Lane was not over. The Lions would lose the remaining games this season, becoming the first team in NFL history to finish 0-16.
Oh my gosh.
However, there was one silver lining from this season: the 2009 number 1 overall draft pick. To accompany the Lions' massive, lightning fast receiver, Calvin Johnson, Detroit selected the big-armed, hard-nosed quarterback out of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford, okay.
With the first pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Matthew Stafford.
Could Stafford be the saving grace from Bobby Lane's curse?
And
It would
Matthew
make
Stafford wasn't even bad. It's just the Lions were just bad in general.
As oddly enough,
And,
Bobby Lane
and
and
Matthew Stafford
both
proved
went
that
to
when
the
he
same
got
high school,
traded to the Rams and
62
won a
years
Super Bowl.
apart.
So
That
Stafford
same
was
year,
definitely
the
not
Lions
the
brought
problem.
in first-time head coach Jim Schwartz to lead the new QB wide receiver duo. Things were looking up for a change in Detroit, but it didn't take long for the Lions' new worst enemy to show its face.
Hey, Pete, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
But the play is not reviewable. Touchdown.
Personal foul, face mask, number 98 defense. Hey, can I get explained that one?
In week 1 of the 2010 NFL season, the Calvin Johnson rule was born.
Oh yeah, I remember
The
this.
Lions, trailing Chicago 14-19 on the road, appeared to score the go-ahead touchdown with only a few seconds left on a pass from Sean Hill to Calvin Johnson. But then, after reviewing the play, the refs decided that Johnson failed to complete the process of the catch, as he lost the ball on the way up to celebrate.
The ruling on the field stands.
Damn.
The play set off a frenzied debate about what exactly constituted a catch by NFL standards.
And live on the other side of the field, I looked, was like, oh damn, he called it. He called it. Oh no, he really caught that. But hey, let's get off the field. Let's go. I mean, we talked about it in the locker room. It's like, do you think that was a catch? Hell yeah, that was a catch. I don't know how they didn't know it, but I'll take the win.
Years later, This led the NFL to redefine the rules of a catch, getting dubbed the Calvin Johnson rule. In 2011, the Lions were back in the playoffs for the first time since 1999.
Okay.
Where they visited a star-studded New Orleans team led by a
hair
future Hall of Famer Drew
What
Brees
the fuck?
and Super Bowl winning head
Drew
coach Sean
Brees.
Payton. The Lions had an early 14-7
Drew
lead
Brees
with
in
5
NFL,
minutes
bro.
left in the second quarter.
A new era is
On a
about to
second
begin
down play,
because
Lions
Stafford
defensive end
and
Willie Young hit Drew Brees and appeared to force a fumble that was recovered by the Lions.
Aaron Rodgers are the only ones left.
However, a referee
Matt
blew the
Ryan
whistle
retired
early,
this year?
not allowing the Lions to advance
Brady
the ball
and Brees are
for what would have
gone.
been a clear touchdown
Rivers
to put
is
them up
gone.
21-7. The Lions failed to score on the ensuing drive, and the Saints took the lead after scoring 10 points on the next 2 possessions. The Saints never relinquished their lead, and the Lions' hopes to end the playoff win drought were dashed once again.
45 to
The next
28.
season,
Holy
the Lions
shit.
were maligned again by the referees. In a Thanksgiving game against the Texans, the Lions were leading 24-14 midway through the third quarter.
Okay.
On 2nd and 10,
24-14.
Justin Forsett took a handoff up the middle
I
and appeared
remember
to be
Forsett.
tackled short of the sticks. Shockingly,
The hell?
Forsett got up after not hearing the whistle and raced to the end zone.
The fuck, bro?
Jim Schwartz, knowing full well that Forsett was down, immediately challenged the call.
Yeah, he's definitely down. I mean, the elbow. What you mean it's not reviewable? See, nah, bro. And the refs have gotten worse since this time. So what do you mean it's not reviewable, bro? It's clearly, bro. His elbow is clearly down, gang.
On the kickoff, but the play is not reviewable.
Nah, they definitely had a parlay on that shit. Hell
This
nah.
was the first year the NFL instituted automatic review on all scoring plays. At that time,
Bro,
the rule
his
stated
elbow
if you
and
challenged
his
the
knee
play
was
already under
down.
Review, it would no longer be eligible for review. Later that season, the NFL would change the rule, only penalizing the team a timeout and not the right to review the play.
Close the schools. Close the schools. This nigga just kicked a book.
Bobby's curse still haunted the Lions, and even with their big three, the Lions failed to accomplish anything of substance. Schwartz was inevitably fired after 2 losing seasons, and
Damn.
former Colts head coach Jim Caldwell replaced him. Things got better under Caldwell when the Lions made the playoffs in 2014, only to have their Super Bowl aspirations dashed by yet another controversial call in their playoff matchup with the Cowboys. Midway through the fourth quarter, with the Lions leading 20-17 and driving down the field, Anthony Hitchens appeared to interfere with Brandon Pettigrew on a 3rd down pass play. After initially throwing the flag, the refs inexplicably elected to pick up the penalty.
The hell?
13! That's unbelievable! That's unbelievable, and you know it. You know it is, though. I know. How does that get overturned? How does that get overturned?
Nigga, kill him
The
more.
Lions gave the ball to the Cowboys, relinquished their lead, and once again failed to win in the playoffs.
Damn.
Lions season will come to an end in very
Bro,
disappointing fashion.
Lions fans been
The call drew
going
a ton of media
through
scrutiny,
it, bro.
and even
I
President
ain't even
Obama
know it was
commented
this
on the Lions'
bad.
misfortune.
But even a Bears fan
Barack
has to
Obama.
admit that was a little suspect.
My nigga Obama.
Once again, the Lions finished another season with nothing to show for it. The following year, the Lions would regress under Caldwell,
Damn.
with poor officiating being the storyline once again. In Week 4 of the 2015 season, the Lions were driving down the field
Now
to
I
take
see
the lead
why
against
Megatron
Seattle.
retired early.
On 3rd and 1, Stafford hit Calvin Johnson on a quick strike. As Johnson moved toward the goal line, the ball was knocked
Cam
loose from his hands.
Chancellor, yeah, I remember
As
this
the ball bounced
play.
free on the ground, KJ Wright illegally punched it out of the end zone. The refs ruled it a touchback, and Seattle held on to win. Even though the Seattle game was another unfortunate event in Lions history, nothing perfectly exemplifies their 2015 season quite like the miracle in
Rodgers Hail
Motown.
Mary.
With
This
only a few
nigga Aaron
seconds left
Rodgers
on the
is the
clock,
king of Hail
the Lions
Marys.
appeared to stop Aaron Rodgers on 3rd and 10 as time expired.
Ooh.
But then,
the face
the
mask.
refs threw a flag on the play. The call was a face mask
how
against
do
the
you
Lions,
possibly
even though Rodgers was clearly
mess up
tackled
in
by
this
the shoulder
spot?
pad.
Oh, he didn't even get face.
The Packers would get one on-time down to cap off a crazy
shit, I didn't
series of
even see
events that
that.
could only happen to the Lions. Rodgers won it for the Packers on the game's final play.
Damn.
He turned 32 yesterday. Does he have a vintage moment in him? In the end
Bro. I know Lions fans were breaking their TVs and everything after that shit. Damn. That's gotta suck. Look at Matthew Stafford. All he can do is just sit there and watch, bro.
Total disbelief at Ford Field.
In 2016, the Lions started off hot, winning 9 of their first 13 games and having a stranglehold on the NFC North. However, Stafford would injure his finger late in the year, and the Lions would lose their lead in the North, dropping all 3 of their final games, but still managing to make the playoffs.
Okay, at least they still made the playoffs.
In the first round, the Lions faced off against the Seahawks, and were promptly showed the door in a 26-6 blowout loss to Seattle. The curse of Bobby Lane failed to let up. 2017 was marred by more officiating controversy. In a Week 3 game against the Falcons, the Lions were trailing by 4 with little time left in the fourth quarter. The Lions drove down the field and on 3rd and goal appeared to score on a quick screen to Golden Tate. However, the scoring play was reviewed and the call was overturned. According to NFL rules, there's a 10-second runoff since the Lions were without timeouts. Even though if the play had been called correctly on the field, the Lions would have easily had time to get on the line and run another play.
Yeah. Rule short, we're going to have a 10-second runoff because you're out of timeouts. That'll be the game. Okay.
Reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is changed. The runner was touched down at the half-a-yard line. He was short of the goal line. By rule, we would go back to a running clock and we have a 10-second runoff. So by rule, the game is over.
Damn. Eesh.
You can't end a game that way. I mean, that's just an unusual way to end a game.
The Lions would go on to miss the playoffs that year. Caldwell was fired, and Matt Patricia was hired.
Matt Patricia.
There was a lot of hype surrounding the Patricia hire. The Lions had a talented veteran roster, and Patricia was widely regarded as a defensive genius, thanks to his famous play call that won New England Super Bowl 49.
Yet reports out of training camp were grim,
with whispers that veterans were disgruntled by Patricia's Patriot Way coaching style that included grueling practices and verbal confrontations during team meetings. Patricia's first game was indicative of his entire tenure as Lions head coach.
Damn,
when the team was blown out of their own
41-17
building by the New York Jets,
and they're gonna score again.
After the loss, Lions players never bought into Patricia's Patriot Way.
What led to the discord in 2018?
Bro, I forgot Darius Slay was a Lion.
A team meeting, and he's showing plays of me, getting caught on in practice, which is cool, which is no problem. Just correct me as a player, help me get better.
For a 2023rd and 5th round pick.
To it. And he had posted a picture off my Instagram into the team meeting room, told me to stop sucking this man private. He just trying to build character, trying to stamp his name on a team, I guess, trying to build a structure or something like that. So he kind of attacked so-called the best players on the team, so the younger guys can understand okay, he do that to Slay, he'll do that to me. So he's just trying to set the tone. But in my way, I don't think you need to set the tone in that type of way. Not telling another man that he need to be, he over here sucking another man. You know what? I'm like, nah, that don't work like that.
Wait, Darius, you're saying he did this in front of the team?
The whole team in the team meeting room. So we had a whole highlight tape of me getting caught on. Then he posted pictures and look at this, out here sucking on this man's because I posted a picture. And I'm like, what?
Over time, Pro Bowl players were slowly shipped away or retired. First it was Quandre Diggs, then Glover Quinn, and finally Darius Slay.
Diggs
over the next 3 seasons,
Lion too?
Patricia and Quinn failed to achieve a winning record, with a result of 14, 33, and 1 as heads of the franchise. On Thanksgiving Day 2020, the duo was fired, leaving the next regime with a roster lacking big-time playmakers thanks to poor drafts and a toxic culture. After the 2020 season, relatively new owner Sheila Ford Hamp, who took over for her mother Martha, was tasked with finding a GM and a coach that could finally rebuild the Lions. Her first move was to hire former Lions linebacker and Fox color commentator Chris Spielman to lead the search. Spielman landed on Dan Campbell, former Lions tight end and Saints assistant head coach, and Brad Holmes, Rams director of college scouting. Campbell, Familiar with Detroit from his time as a player, envisioned building a tough, gritty team that represented the city in which they played. His first press conference drew laughs and snarky remarks from sports analysts across the country, but instilled a belief in the fans and players that this time might be different.
All right, here's what I do know, is that this team is going to take on the identity of this city, all right? And this city's been down, and it found a way to get up. All right, it's found a way to overcome adversity. All right, and so this team's going to be built on. We're going to kick you in the teeth. All right, and when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you, and when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off. All right, and we're going to stand up, and then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. All right, and on the way
legendary
up, we're going to take your other kneecap,
press
and we're going to get up,
right
and
here,
then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing.
Holmes, another grinder, who clawed his way to the top of an NFL front office after starting as a media intern, was in lockstep with Campbell's vision for the team. And given that they already had franchise quarterback Matthew Stafford in place, the rebuild didn't seem so daunting. Until it did.
Breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ, and it is monster.
I mean, both teams kind of won this trade, but the Rams won this trade more because they got a Super Bowl out of it.
In exchange for 2 future.
But I feel like Goff might be making it to the Super Bowl sooner rather than later.
These are 2 former #1 overall picks trading places in an absolutely blockbuster trade that shakes things up both in Detroit and in LA.
The Lions lost the last member of their Big Three, but finally did right by their quarterback, over 60 years after the infamous trade of Bobby Lane. Could this finally break the curse? With all of his draft capital, Holmes rebuilt the team from the ground up. He selected All-Pros Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Pro Bowler Aiden Hutchinson in back-to-back drafts. The Lions finally felt they had the right pieces in place. But the 2022 season, the second under Holmes and Campbell, got off to a rocky start, with the Lions losing 6 of their first 7 games. Prior to their Week 9 matchup with the Packers, things were looking grim once again, until Hall of Famer Peyton Manning and Detroit Lions superfan Jeff Daniels decided enough was enough, and set out to end the curse of Bobby Lane.
Why the is there a bathtub in the end zone of Ford Field? Am I on drugs?
Am I on drugs?
Google curse-breaking spell, and you'll come up with this. Fill a tub with 100 cups of water and a cup of salt.
Doesn't smell like water.
Because it's whiskey. Bobby Lane would have preferred that.
After the episode of Peyton's Places aired, Dan Campbell's culture finally took hold, and the Lions roared back. Detroit won 8 of their final 10 games,
the curse?
barely missing the playoffs due to a tiebreaker, but in the same breath ended the Packers' postseason hopes.
And Goff is looking to throw, and he throws it. It's caught for the first down by DJ Chark. The Lions have come into Lambeau, and they've knocked the Packers down and out.
With tons of hype going into the 2023 season,
Rodgers'
Brad Holmes
last
cooked
game
up
as
his
a
best
Packer.
draft class yet, selecting second-team All-Pro Sam Laporta and all-rookie running back Jahmyr Gibbs, both of which were finalists for Offensive Rookie of the Year, as well as defensive studs Jack Campbell and Brian Branch. The Lions, everyone's 2023 breakout candidate, opened the season in Arrowhead against the defending Super Bowl champs, and let the NFL world know that the hype was real.
With some momentum to the end zone for the touchdown. Not the same old Lions, the 1-0 Lions.
They beat the Chiefs in Week 1 and rolled their way to a 12-5 record, only their second 12-win season in franchise history.
Damn.
They ended a 32-year division title drought, winning the NFC North for the first time since its inception, and hosted their first ever playoff game at Ford Field. In the wild card round, they took on the LA Rams, a game that featured 2 former #1 overall picks, the quarterbacks that were traded for each other 3 years earlier. Former Lion legend Matthew Stafford gave Detroit all they could handle, but in the end, his effort wasn't enough, as the Lions beat the Rams in an instant classic, winning their first playoff game since 1991 and
I know
ending a
Lions
9-game
fans were
playoff losing
crying,
streak.
tears of joy that the drought always, I said always, it was almost over, man.
In the divisional round, the Lions hosted the Bucs in Baker Mayfield, where they won a close game on the back of their star offense that was sealed by a Derek Barnes interception.
I don't know what Baker was thinking right there.
The Lions were finally back in the NFC Championship game, where they faced off against the number 1 seeded 49ers. The Lions started off hot, building a massive 24-7 lead in the first half.
Bro, I thought they were going to win this game.
But the second half was one to forget. Bad break after bad break plagued the Lions.
Damn.
A dropped 4th down conversion, a dropped interception, and fumble by rookie running back Jahmyr Gibbs were all the 49ers needed to erase a 17-point deficit.
I fell asleep during this
Play
game,
after
too.
play in the second half reminded many Lions fans of their cursed past, and instilled belief in some that the curse may not be over. While the NFC Championship loss was a patented Lions meltdown that haunted the franchise for generations, it feels as though that this time may be different.
My hometown, I think they had a great season. Next year they're going to be better.
The Lions have a young, super talented roster, a shrewd GM, and a fiery head coach that gets the most out of his players. Only time may tell if the curse is truly over, but it feels like this time, the Lions will be a force to be reckoned with for years to come.
This is just the beginning, boys. Next week, at home, against whoever wants to come in here. Let's go. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3, win!
Hey, man.
Thanks for watching. Be on the look.
Is the curse over for the Lions, bro? Are they finally going to be a competitive team for the next couple years or so? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on my post notifications to get notified whenever I drop another banger video. And without further ado, I'm out. Gang!